Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Grantee Spotlight. I'm Carl with Kadena, and I'm really excited to have the team from Crankk here today as we dive into the IoT devices, DPIN, and so much more. Now, Crankk is a project that's built on Kadena's Layer 1 proof of work blockchain, and their crypto network is regulated by our Pax smart contracts. So let's kick things off. Let's have you guys introduce yourselves. Let's hear about your background and what's led you here to today.
Hi, my name is Peter Varga, and I started Crank specifically on Kadena. And basically, I took it as a personal challenge to see if I can do a distributed network with IoT devices and automation, etc. And then Kadena seemed to be the perfect platform for it. I mean, later on, we're going to expand hopefully a lot on why and how, because it's a very interesting subject. My background is in large-scale enterprise systems, mostly, namely SAP. So that taught me, how business communication works, how you build systems that are like self-encompassing, uh, cater for all the business transactions within the ecosystem. So the blockchain was like a revelation when I first understood it, and thought, oh man, you can do like a complete open business system and build your own ecosystem and economy. That's cool. So got me very excited. And on the side, I've always had, besides the SAP career that I've had, uh, I was always interested in gadgets, telecommunication, IoT, and doing a project like this, combining the two major areas of my background, was a real exciting opportunity. So here we are now.
Definitely the tech guy.
Yes, exactly. Hello, nice to everyone. Hello to everyone. My name is Milan. I'm Chief Operations Officer of Crankk. I joined to Crankk project approximately 2 years ago. I was very impressed what Peter started to build by himself in early stages, and this was the moment that I found Kadena as well, and I found what is the opportunity about the scalability. But a little bit more about my background. I'm coming from a DePIN and crypto community. I own a couple of crypto community groups on Telegram, on Facebook. I'm originally from Bulgaria, and I have my biggest community group. It's based on the DePIN projects in LoRa field, on GNS or other projects that it's around the DePIN. And because my background in crypto approximately more than 10 years, and the last 4 years approximately in the DePIN, I am looking and chasing new projects, and Crankk was something that changed my understanding for decentralization, because Crankk was built from day one on absolutely on chain and absolutely decentralized, and the entire infrastructure is laying down on the Pax smart contract on Kadena, and the scalability that Kadena give us as an opportunity, it's something that we aim to achieve, and we have it as at the moment right now. And we are moving to multi-chain. On chain, we start on chain 0, and now we're moving to chain 19. But later on, yeah, Peter can give a lot more information about our achievements. And Crankk as an IoT project, and the DePIN open source community guided project, it's something that sooner or later everyone will understand the power of open source and the power of community. That community will take hand over the decisions. They can do everything what they wish on the software, because they own the hardware and they can use our software for free. And this gives them an opportunity to touch at least Kadena to see the low gas fee transactions, to see the multi-chain and the scalability. Yeah, we can have a talk,
Yeah.
and we can talk a lot about this.
You're ready to dive in. I love it,
Yeah.
man.
Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, you guys are ready. So, I mean, obviously, Milan, we've had some conversations in the past, man, and it's been some good combos I've enjoyed. But this is obviously the first time we're kind of meeting visually and whatnot. And Peter, this is the first time that I've actually got to interact with you. I know, I remember a comment you made on my Twitter a while back about like Kadena is going to have like this Macintosh moment. And like, that's always kind of stuck with me, right? Like, I believe it. And there's so much there in projects like you guys and what you guys are doing. I feel there's a lot that you guys are actively doing that people don't recognize in this community, not just the Kadena community, but the crypto in general, right? Milan, I know you've done a lot of talks as of late. Your Discord kind of server is just massively going, so it touches into the community and a lot of other stuff. But enough for me. I'm going to dive back to you guys. Let's start talking. Let's talk about what Crankk is, and and beyond just what Crankk is. There is obviously a lot of IoT kind of projects out there, label DPIN, all these other things. What makes you guys stand out? Maybe you guys can start jumping into that because I think you guys are ready to go.
Starting Crank and the whole thing was I read the Satoshi forum posts, and I think one of the greatest things about um, the blockchain and building on the blockchain is being distributed and staying distributed and doing it in a Web3 fashion. And there are a lot of other projects out there, specifically DePIN and IoT as well. That if you want to keep this particular trait as your primary goal, then let's not move toward centralization. I know because, as I said, I come from large scale enterprise systems, and then it all started with COBOL, right? So or a single computer with multi-user interface, and something knows everything. A computer in the center knows everything, and it can report on everything. It is the single source of truth. However, if you build in a true Web3 fashion, then uh, individual clients will act on their own, and then they know a lot of stuff. They don't know everything, but they do know a lot of stuff, so they can report on that, and then that can be validated on the blockchain, and other participants in your network can have their say, can confirm or deny, and things like that. So I think that is one of the greatest things about building it this way. And um, also, we started as a technical challenge, right? So I think that building and keeping building features that stay as distributed as possible, and in the meantime try to be understandable functions to the community, right? It's always important that the community members understand what your feature does and how it makes or tries to make their life better and easier, and perform transactions, move your tokens. What we do in Crank is every step of our process is on the blockchain. So it's like the ultimate definition of building in the open, because, like, in the startup community, there's this thing, open source, but also building in the open, meaning that you're in constant and quickly iterating communication with the community. So and then that caters to the very quick cycle time or iteration. They say that a project will maybe has a chance of winning if they can deliver good features quickly and iterate quickly, receive feedback quickly, and just keep adding. And then at some point, why can you be better? Well, due to this quick iteration, and getting to a certain point and building out an ecosystem that has the most features and the most convenient features.
Absolutely. And obviously, I think that's why you guys literally work night and day. I mean, seeing you guys on Discord
Yes.
and whatnot, it's, I don't think you guys ever sleep, man. So it definitely makes sense.
Uh,
Maybe, Milan, you can add on to that.
yes, as I said, I'm coming from community side, and Crankk as a community guided project, and as a management level, how we do it, we communicate and stay close as much as possible to the community. And as Peter explained, all features that we implement, once we do not provide information prior to make a hype or to just to tease people. No, we building, delivering the model and our understanding, and then we monitoring how the community react to this future, and we adjust the future based on the feedback of the community. 2 years ago, once I joined to the Crank, and me and Peter and our team, lately it's 26 people already, we're on the same page that Crank need to stay and must be a community guided project. Our approach, it's like Airbnb and Uber approach. What is on the market, we provide a solution for this hardware. Otherwise, other projects that just selling overpriced hardware, 5, 10, 20 times more expensive than the initial price of the hardware because of their custom software that it's locked. No, in Crank, we reverse engineer more than 36 different type of hardwares by us, by our developers and hardware and software engineers. Without the blueprints, without the partnerships with the manufacturers, we built our own operating system, Crank OS, and we're building Crank Image, and we're providing open source solution for everyone. That means you can use your old hardware from any other projects. At the moment that we covering from our website, you can check the list of the hardware that we provide the solution, and we can install Crank OS or Crank Image, and we have full control over the hardware. Not only one function, you have full control. You can do everything. You can use it for your own purpose. And our open source solution is free for use. But if you would like to join to Crank, you need to pay the software license like any other big companies like Microsoft, that they're selling their keys and license for their operating system or their applications. We are building the entirely Crank only focused about the community. If the community would like to have this kind of device onboarded on Crank, we work on the device, we provide the solution, and we're monitoring the feedback. Our approach is absolutely a business approach. It's not only focused on fast hype track that we need to as soon as possible to deliver something that is not working. No, we're a business with long-term vision that would like to provide a ready solution, software solutions for the utility and IoT. We built the entire system, the entire infrastructure by us, and once we test it internally, we have the closed alpha, they test the software and the solutions, and we publicly released. Once we released, we just follow the flow of the community. This is our main focus. The community, nothing else. Is not about how much we can make it more or faster or no. Just it's a business that need to be steady, step by step, to reach the goals and that we aim to do. And it's not easy to build absolutely decentralized on-chain LoRa IoT communication solution, software solution, open source solution that need to be secured and stay on the chain without our interactions. What we will do if we move our project on Excel sheets and we need to maintenance 24/7 servers and we need to check all these rewards is properly distributed? No, everything is on the smart contract. Like now we're in the interview and we're free to do that because of Kadena, because everything is automated by the smart contract, and we can lay down to put our foundation for future scalability. Like it's not only the reward system, it's not the proof network participation only, it's on the smart contract. Peter developed the first peer-to-peer DEX with order book on the Kadena blockchain, and totally controlled by the Pact smart contract and the Oracle nodes. Peter developed, and our team, the affiliate system on chain. I believe is the only one in the world affiliate system that is totally controlled by the smart contract, and everything is fully transparent. In Crank, we believe and firmly believe in the transparency and the equalness and the fairness, and this can be checked very easily on the blockchain export. It's absolutely everything on Kadena. I can say much more, but let's move forward.
I was going to say, we could tell you're a little passionate, my man. We touched on this in kind of our past conversations, is that the thing that really I think stands out from my view to you guys is that it you prove by actions. And the way you guys approach things is you build basically everything internally. And as you kind of touched on, right, everything from your own exchange to getting into the wallet to just everything, all within your dashboard, you're trying to make it a very easy experience. The thing that I feel is a challenge is obviously a good part of crypto itself is so used to the hype and all these other kind of elements that kind of come in place to kind of bring attention right to the projects. And so it's like I feel there's a little bit of disconnect. So like an interview like this, I think is great for people to really actually be able to kind of see, hey, what really is Crankk, and beyond just the Kadena community, right? Like to see, hey, what's really happening? Why are they doing what they're doing? And for your voice to actually get out there and say, hey, this is our vision, this is our purpose. So I'm really excited about this, and there's so much really to kind of dive into. Um, but let's touch like you're saying is everything is on blockchain. From the Kadena side of things, we obviously see the amount of transactions that are coming in, right? I mean, there's proof behind that. So this isn't just talk. I mean, there's actual results behind. So let's touch base on that real quick, and we can dive back into the bigger piece of Crankk is the foundation here is smart contracts, right? So this is packed. This is the blockchain that Kadena is providing. So where did the idea originally first be found by you guys of, hey, Kadena is a solution, and what kind of led you that way of saying, hey, we have this big grand picture of what we want to build. Why are we depending on Kadena to do this? And maybe you can kind of dive into that for us.
Absolutely. I love this subject actually.
Me too.
So yeah, from the user's point of view, right? I mean, I try to understand how Kadena works, but I'm the experimental type, so observe, do something, observe. So I must say that I had a feeling, without knowing the founders of Kadena, that they must have come from a similar background than I did, like large scale, bank or banking, finance, but large scale business systems. So the way they built Kadena was that, this very tightly integrated database, and then you can think in terms of a database, and um, also permissions, or like how do you control access to particular records, etc. And then the added features of Kadena, like you can the capability thing, like, oh, you're sending a transaction, but you have an expectation of the actual outcome of that transaction, and because even though, let's say, human readable, yeah, well, you still need to kind of know how to read, or you know what you're reading, but the definition could stand, obviously. But then you say, okay, I'm going to transfer this many tokens to that account, and I have a certain expectation of the outcome. So you provide that expectation, and then the blockchain will either confirm or not confirm your expectation. But to be able to attach an expectation, I think it's cool, and it's a very important part of the features of Kadena. Other than that, the language and how you formulate a smart contract on Kadena is that once you get used to it, of course, it takes some time to it takes some getting used to. But after a while, I think as a developer or even as a user, you get the feel for how it was meant to work and how it was meant to fulfill the promises and features of a first class blockchain. The multi chain nature is an interesting aspect, and of course you need to. I mean, when we started Crankk, we weren't exactly sure how much you can support on one chain, but it was of course a warming thought that there are other chains, so you can for sure expand horizontally, and then when you gain time, when you're up against a certain limitation, regarding how fast you can grow your network. Horizontal is just fine for me until I figure out how to do other adjustments. So you know, getting you out of trouble at a certain time by just simple or not that simple, but at least a given and known horizontal scalability feature is great. So yeah, the most important points are similarity with Kadena's similarity in its design with enterprise systems, and then the off the shelf capability for horizontal scalability.
I
We
will
love
show
that word
here,
scalability.
and I can say it in this way. Think about that. Crankk it's absolutely decentralized as a LoRa-proof network participation communication on the chain, on chain. Each beaconing, witnessing, and each event is happening on the chain. But we have a consensus nodes. They're as well they're on chain, and that's decentralized, and everything they control by the Pax smart contract and the chain. But we have more nodes. I don't want to say what we're working and when they will be done, but all this they're on the chain. Think about that. If we move this kind of communication each second, later on will be thousands of requests on the chain in each second to move it in EVM based or Ethereum based or Excel sheet blockchain. What will be we need to the users need to pay thousands of dollars of gas fees, or they need to choose a centralized blockchain, and that the blockchain that is not decentralized. And we aim and believe to stay absolutely on chain, fully transparent, equal to the community, and they can see everything what's happening. And our main goal is in a year or two from now, I don't count me, um, uh, the entire project need to stay on the chain and to be controlled from the community on the chain with the voting system, and everything to be automated. That's mean then the Crankk team will be focused only to build the backend and to provide the solutions for the community, because our automated account system Kadena, our automated project manager Kadena, or anything would like to say it, it's a government option that just the automation, the security, it's our main focus. And because of that, Peter built the entire idea based on Kadena understanding of the on-chain decentralization solutions.
And it's great points because, me, the way I feel is like where this space is going with cryptos is we saw all these ideas of what we can do and all this stuff, but like you see a lot of these chains as you brought up with the gas costs with Ethereum and so forth, right? Like a business wants to take it to the next level. Hey, we want to be able to do this and that, but just from a financial standpoint, it makes no sense whether it's from the business side of things or even for the user side of things. For what you guys kind of touched on earlier is that you guys are focused so much on the business and creating these features, listening to the community and building. You don't need to have to kind of worry about those challenges that come in from the aspect of scaling or the aspect of gas and cost. You could just focus on what needs to be done. And I think that takes a huge load off your guys' shoulders because you don't have to worry about, hey, where do we get to a certain point, or are we going to have to pivot? Are we going to have to go somewhere? What do we have to rebuild? Like it completely changes things, and it just allows you guys to kind of channel and focus on what actually Crankk is going to become. And it sounds like Milan wants to kind of to hint on a few things that are upcoming. And I know we probably don't want to touch on some of that, but it just shows like you guys are so focused on building. And that's the part that I've always enjoyed in my conversations with you, Milan, was just that there's so much that's upcoming. And so it's not the challenges of the blockchain. It's not the challenges of anything else other than just, hey, it's on us to get this done. So let's go into that. I mean, what's happening with Crankk right now? I know we've seen some recent kind of like change in the chains with what you guys have going on with your software licenses and so forth. But let's dive into what's recently gone on. Let's catch the community up and what's up to come here shortly.
First of all, yes, of course, as a crypto project, we have our roadmap. We have some delays, some tasks that wasn't planned, and we've done it because, as many times we stated, we're focused on the community. And we don't know tomorrow what community would like to have it, because Crankk is an open source software solution, and everyone use our Crankk OS and Crankk image for not only for Crankk, but for much more projects. But other projects, they don't have exactly a stable plan with long-term vision. And in a week or month, the other project changed something, but it's relevant to our hardware and our operating system. And the community asks, can you build something custom for us, for a custom solution? And we, okay, if the community would like to have it, we will build it for the community. And because of that, yes, we uh, delay with some of the developments, but we build it other solutions that no one provided on the market, as our Crankk OS and Crankk image and our automated smart contract solutions. And now we make a big step to the multi-chain. Is not only to run a token on Kadena on 20 multi-chains. Peter will explain more deeply, but we're using Kadena in the potential in the way that the multi-chain is the multi-chain communication. We have gateways on chain 0, we have gateways on chain 19, but they communicate each other some beaconing and witnessing on multi-chains, on different chains, and they receiving the rewards on the way that we describe it in our smart contract. But this interaction, I do not believe this automation, so for 1,000 transactions per minute or per second, it depends of how big we are in a couple of years. No other blockchain can provide so low gas fee, so automated process, and so transparent process, and to give us opportunity to be focused on building. All of our developers, they do not sleep with stress that, oh, the blockchain maybe will stuck, oh, we need to restart the blockchain. They're focused on building the softwares, and this is our main goal and idea. Now we have a couple of surprise that in a week one will be shared. I don't want Peter maybe would like to say, as I stated, and we firmly believe we do not share in prior, we do not building hype. We have zero marketing. We have zero marketing team. The entire project is natural growth, because we need to build the solutions, to provide the product, and then to contact the business, the customers, and to say, look, we have the network, we have the solution, what we would like to have more, and we are here to work for you. This is the entire business plan. It's not just to provide a marketing tool like a white paper before the project is ever being built, not to chasing VC funds to sell out the project. Our tokenomics says enough. 80% from the tokens go to the community. Only 8% from the tokens go to the Crankk team. But we have internal agree never to be touched till the project is reliable, it's on the market, it's couple of years, it's steady. Why we need to use our own tokens to dump the market? Because we're not here for day or two. We stay with our names, our faces, to provide our business solutions, and we work for the community. And if they do not believe in us, in like we believe in the tokenomics in the community, because we give everything to the community, as the peer-to-peer DEX without fees right now, it's community can trade it. The token from almost 11 months past. For the 11 months, we have more than 1 million transactions, I believe, if I'm not wrong, and approximately 6 million Kadena traded in Kadena Crankk pair. This is a DEX, this is a project that no one know in the past, and everything is about the community. The community trade the token, they exchange it for Kadena. We are selling our software licenses in Kadena. This help enormously to Kadena as well. But yeah, Peter can say a little bit more on top. I don't really, you can see, I don't share what we will do.
You're close, man. You're close. You want
Yes,
to.
I'm close, but I can split
One
it.
of yeah.
I don't want, because we are against the hype. Otherwise, people every day will welcome. When this, when that, when this, when that. No, please give us a time. What we said, we will deliver it.
Yeah. Well, it's a game of being proactive and being reactive. I mean, you can't say you would always want to stay proactive, but it's an economy, so sometimes you need to be reactive as well, because no planning would tell you that there's going to be, what is going to be happening in crypto at that time, and then how it will, the global macro environment, how it will affect your own project. So one of the things that we perceived as a inconvenience to the community is, even though small gas fees, but now that we are multi-chain, you need to kind of make that small funding available on your accounts on multiple chains, and we'd like to make it more convenient for the community, and then provide a way to manage them, and make it automated. So that's one of the things that we are working on, and that again brought up Kadena's unique abilities. Like, how do you create something that is controlled by the user with their own key, but at the same time you can act on it in a programmed way, you know? And then hopefully we found a good solution, but it was kind of exhilarating to stumble on something that may potentially provide a good solution for this type of challenge.
In a week, this
And
solution will be shared, and it's again one of a kind, the first time.
No, no. Well, I mean, you don't need to.
can I get a little tease?
Okay, if I give,
No,
but
Peter
this
shook his
will
head
not
no.
share. Maybe in a day or two, the announcement, the initial announcement will be shared. The video, I believe, it's not go up in a day or two.
It's
Okay,
Friday for us, so it won't be till next week.
okay, and it's a Crankk Card. This is one of a kind on-chain virtual prepaid debit card that you can use it for subscription models. Let's say, as Peter explained it, we would like to have a solution that the user can use it to cover all gas fees for different applications and different wallets. Because in Crankk, each wallet, it's like a security under the security key for each gateway. You can assign one gateway to one wallet, because we trust believe, firmly believe in the security, but we would like to make it more user friendly. Again, this wasn't in our roadmap, but we developed and Peter delivered something new, one of a kind. It's a prepaid debit card on chain, on Kadena blockchain, and this the C card, Crankk Card, will be used to cover all your gas fees for all your gateways on different chains with one wallet.
Yeah, let's just say that we are progressing cautiously. Again, when you try to do, I mean, when you're in the business of creating new things, and then this is about tokens with financial value. So let's just say we are progressing cautiously, and towards the goal of making make of delivering good and easy to understand and useful solutions to the community in a secure way. So we are making our steps toward that goal.
Yes, and this is main
Absolutely.
idea, the security of the Crankk Card. It's on the chain, and will be possible to use it as for subscription models for any users and utilities that in the future is possible. This will be shared.
Obviously, and that's amazing because this comes back to your guys' vision. Like you guys, whatever it may, it's a vision, an idea, whether it's from the community, you guys are seeing what can happen and make this convenience, make this experience happen. It seems like there's very little questioning about is this possible on the blockchain with Kadena? It's more just okay. Is this an idea that's real? Is this something that is feasible? Is this something that's really going to help our community? And if so, your whole vision and channel is just on that, right? It's less about is it possible? It's more about just okay, how do we make this happen? That's the vibe that I kind of get, and it's just it's different. and so many projects don't have that kind of confidence, or I would say conviction. And for you guys, it seems like there's so many additional ideas that I think is kind of on we won't say the roadmap, but the future. And it's more just, okay, what's the timeline? How does this fit? What does this open up? Like, it's just, you guys are so much into the business, and I just really hope that more in the community see this. I've kind of heard it, I've kind of seen it, and I hope more be able to kind of understand this, that that there's so much behind Crankk, and that what some people call a silence, because they only see the things from socials. They're not engaged in the Discord community, or Telegram or anything else. This type of information hopefully will really get people to realize, like, hey, there's some serious transactions, a serious business going on here, and you guys are so early. At the same time, there's so much more to come, so that's really cool. And hey, we got some new information here today. I think that's awesome. So let's dive further. As you know, I know we've kind of got into what Crankk is. I know there's some kind of labels that kind of come out there. There's the, what do you guys label it as? Like the proof of network participation. That that's something that I think would be kind of cool to be able to dive into. Is what is that labeled by? What do you see that kind of pointing out to, so people can kind of get some clarity? A lot of these people in the community aren't going to realize that, right? They hear proof of stake, they hear proof of work, but they hear a lot of these other terms, especially when we get into IoT and DePIN, and they don't get what that really means. So maybe we can dive into the foundation behind that. Where do you guys see that going?
I think that the original premise of some of this proof of network participation is that how can the community members prove their participation on their own, and with as little central oversight as possible. So let's say, well, you could build it like you guys are shoveling. You are an IoT data delivery network. So what your nodes are doing, and what your service is doing, is shoveling data from those IoT sensors all the way to a central infrastructure, and then further on to the customer of that data, whoever is going to make use of that, who owns it. But then that sounds a little bit centralized, and then everything you will be handing out tokens optimally based on the performance of the individual participants. Well, but then if it's a central something that knows everything and ultimately wise, and it's hard to prove fairness. So a better model is to leave the whole thing to the community, meaning that within a group of many participants, uh, groups that are maybe on the same side of a certain interest are randomly selected. So it's not always the same team. Your team changes by the minute. So I guess that could help with uh, minimizing the chances of collusion. Like you and I agree that we'll do things a little differently to benefit both of us, and but the whole choreography, as long as it's really distributed, and then by selecting random teams, then the whole thing becomes a little bit more. There's more choreography, and then you can enjoy the choreography, and you can observe how these nodes work together, and then you know get to deliver on the premises of transparency. So I guess I thought this was the concept of distributed DePIN, or distributed physical infrastructure. But I guess like someone came up with Bitcoin, and then first thing was centralized exchanges, and then I'm not crying about it, right? we are on a mission to prove that being distributed and staying distributed ultimately can provide a better solution than leaving it centralized or not working towards as much distributedness as possible. We believe that we are on a mission to prove that distributed is the way to go, and then the challenge for our communication, coming back to the project, is to prove with solutions and with convenience of use, and then with trying to prove more and more fairness uh, to the community, that these technical solutions and then the way we solved it and then the way we are solving it will ultimately end up providing more value than the opposite.
I can add it in the community side and community perspective. What it's proof of trust, our main model. Proof of work, everyone wants to know, and proof of stake. But proof of trust, it's hybrid model. And proof of trust, it's you deploy your gateway and you participate in proof of node, proof of network participation or consensus node, or in the future other nodes that we're adding to the network. And you're locking amount of Crankk tokens for a node that you would like to provide for the network to guarantee that you will provide a quality work from your side. You guarantee with your tokens that you're locking for a year, a minimum, that you provide a quality work and quality coverage, or quality decentralized consensus node with stable internet with the rules that we have it in place. And our proof of trust model, it's one of a kind as well. And once the users understand that each next of the participation, they guaranteed that the work will be done, so to provide the coverage. And we are not based on hexes, on scales, that if there are 100 gateways in one city, you are losing tokens. No. In Crankk, we firmly believe only in unique data LoRa coverage. That means we motivate users, the community, everyone to put their gateways in places that there are no one there. 2 years ago, when a little bit more than when I met Peter, we met the first time in Budapest, in Hungary. He told me something that I will never forget. Yeah.
I had one of those moments with him too already with the Macintosh comment.
We need to build the network in the way that we are not motivate the community or the participant to game the network. Otherwise, we're human. Everyone in the world try to make more from the other. Everyone look in the other pants what he have it or how much he have it. No, in our way, we would like to motivate people to be equal, to make almost the same, not to motivate people to lie and game the system. And because of that, we're not based on what you're saying, how you do it, or where is your location. No, if you say that your gateway is in New York and you don't hear Radio New York, you're not in New York. You're in Massachusetts or someone else. Because of that, Crankk stay. We have Crankk ranking system. Our ranking system, it's collecting all LoRa traffic or LoRa data and providing to the centralized servers. And our algorithm checking this data, how unique it is, and give you percentages. And if you provide unique coverage, we will be not affected by the ranking system. But if you put 100 gateways in one room, you do not provide LoRa coverage and will be really hit from the ranking system. And Crankk is not only about the LoRa. Crankk it's an open source IoT solution, software solution that will provide not only the LoRa connectivity, Wi-Fi connectivity, Bluetooth connectivity in the future, but much more. And as I stated and we stated, what the community would like to have it. Once we provide the voting system, the community can start the vote and say, look, we would like to have a storage. Look, we would like to have this and that. Okay, if the hardware can handle it, we'll implement the solution on the blockchain. We'll implement the software solution. and we just follow the community.
Yeah, if I may add to that, I think this was a very interesting point that when I look at Kadena, then I see a financial operating system on top of which we are building. And I call it a financial operating system because if you would build it otherwise, then you would need a payment provider, then an acquirer, and then what kind of business are you in? Is it something that we allow? Things like that, approval back and forth, and then you're not free to take off to grow because you need to deal with all these extra things to consider, and then uh, we Crankk as a project building on top of Kadena. Uh, I don't know how many of us know the actual history of building a LoRaWAN network, and making it community based. The first one or the first ones were community based, but there was no crypto involved, right? And then if we can get to a point where IoT projects would see us as a, again, like we see Kadena, they see us as a platform to build on with immediate, everything that's under it already built, and then have the crypto nature which serves and guarantees that participants are compensated. Then in a future state, our hope is to be more widespread in the IoT space.
Absolutely. You got the utility, you got the financial aspects. There's a lot of stuff that kind of comes into it. Now, I'm going to be honest, in the back of my head, I really want to dive more into this like Crankk Card, but I don't want to really get too much more of this information out of you guys here yet. I'll let you guys do that. But where I want to go with this just shortly, and then I'll wrap up with one last question, is that IoT, DPIN, it's the terms. You guys are bringing up a lot of like how this network is being built, the community, the usage, how this network is going to grow. But maybe we could simplify slightly a little bit for people to understand really what IoT and DPIN is. Meaning, like I know there's the aspects of like smart meters, right? And you can get into GPS trackers. You can go big picture as you guys are kind of evolving into like the smart city kind of approach. I mean, you can go smaller, you can go smart home. But maybe you could touch just a little bit on what those type of other elements are there that people can get involved with Crankk, and what are those things, and how can they play with that?
As I said, Crank aim to build a one shop stop. First, 2 years ago we started the basic. Now we're building the foundation. Where till end of 2024 we have a lot in our plate to finish. But our main idea to provide the entire connectivity for the LoRa, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, full IoT, storage as well, the Oracle nodes. And if you think that the Crankk Card is something huge, 6 months ago already Peter built something that we didn't release it yet, but sooner or later will be
Oh,
released, and we have much more to release
soon.
later on. But as I give you this as an explanation why we didn't release it, because something that it's done without the ecosystem and the utility in the right moment, it's nothing for the community. It's the product can be unique, but need to work. This product need to be put in the place that the community need to like it, to use it, to to provide more flexibility, and then to realize how this work and when need to be used. Now, if we start the onboarding of like the sensors 2 years ago, without the automation of the blockchain, without the user dashboard, the software, the hardware that we reverse engineered, this will be a failure, because 2 years ago we had 15 gateways in a basement just for a test. Now we have 6,000 online, and yes, we can provide a coverage from day one, because and connectivity, LoRa connectivity, because Crankk is based around chip stack. And Peter mentioned earlier the Things Network is not a crypto project; it's a community guided project. It's Peter participated in this project years ago, and we provide a connectivity that it's LoRa A, LoRa B, and LoRa C level class, and everything that we put as effort and energy, it's to build a platform as a software company, to build a platform that the business or the customer can easily join with one or two clicks. Because let's say you would like to have automated sensors or home automation or smart home, but you would like to go just to the shop to buy the sensor and to onboard it with a QR code or two clicks or something like this. We provide you only one solution for this, not just a network or not just the software. No, we have the cloud infrastructure, we have the user UI UX dashboard and the onboarding process, and we need to think all about this and how this will be implemented in the way that work with the blockchain. Because as we said, decentralized and centralized. The decentralized part is the blockchain part. The centralized part is the LoRa and IoT connectivity. And our cloud infrastructure is being built in the way for the scalability. And our main goal is really people that will use, or business that will use Crankk, to not need to involve in the crypto in the way that they afraid to use it. Just to provide a easy solution, understandable solution, that they can use Crankk mobile app to scan the sensor, to onboard the sensor. And what's happening in the back end, it's our responsibility. And the responsibility of the blockchain to provide the solution as a smart contract for this connectivity.
I think it's very important, yeah. And it reminded me of data ownership. Like we are building the network in a way that tries to preserve data ownership as much as possible. I think it's an overlooked, or not, sometimes we talk about it, but not necessarily in this context. But to build something that is inherently trying to preserve data ownership, I think that should be an important thing.
Definitely. And that's a big narrative, right? Today, well, what we're seeing is that element of data privacy, and you're seeing it being challenged in the world in a lot of different aspects. And so to kind of have that, native within the system itself, that's powerful. And sorry for cutting you off, Milan. Go ahead.
It's not like to provide a LoRa connectivity, because you can do it by yourself. Buy one gateway from Rack or SenseCap and buy a sensor, and you can start by yourself private LoRa network. Everyone can do that. No, our solution, it's for mass use, for business use and customer use. As I explained earlier, and we explained it in our social channels, we're building a basic the base software that, let's say you have a business that providing a storage, and you come to us and go to our voting system and provide a software based on Docker or software that works with our operating system, and say, look, I would like to provide this solution, and this solution will bring this amount of traffic or investments or payments, and the users will be rewarded in this way. And the community vote. Once the community accept your solution, you as a business or customer that provide the solution, you have a certain time frame to provide the software to be implemented on our software, and we will run it on the smart contract, and then the users will be rewarded because of your implementation. This is our idea, to build something it's for the community, and everyone can build it on top. Like we're building on top of Kadena, everyone, Peter said earlier, everyone can come and build it on top of Crankk.
And as that community speaks, even more and more ideas and elements come out, right? Like you could just keep building and building. And for me, I not heard a single piece of hesitation in anything that you guys have said, right? Like, I mean, there's conviction behind what you guys are doing. There's stuff you've already built. I think for you, what you guys have touched on slightly a little bit ago, that there is an element of timing, right? Like, I mean, you could build a lot of things and say, hey, look, we could be able to do this, this, and this, but like, there's an element of timing that it needs to be available. Otherwise, it's not going to either get the type of recognition or value of what you guys put behind it, and that also means that now other stuff is kind of being held off on the side because you're focusing on stuff that may not have hit the right time for that to be released. So there definitely seems to be a lot moving forward. I think a lot of what has been said today is definitely going to get people like interested in Crankk itself, right? And so maybe we could just finish with some advice. Is what type of advice would you guys give to individuals or businesses that want to join this Crankk network? And maybe you can kind of give a little insight on that.
I would like to say in this way: do not put cart in front of the horse. Everyone come to our social channels, because we're a crypto involved project. We're on Kadena. Everyone come to us now and then, but people need to understand we're not focused on the hype of the crypto. Crankk start in the deepest bear market. No one was interested in the crypto. The BTC was down to 16,000, 15,000. We was there, we work with our own money investments, day and hours, burnouts, everything, just to deliver what the community would like to have it. Then next year, the market is not better, but we're still there. We're still here working and providing the solutions. Now the little bit market move up. Why you do not jump on the hype? Why? We need to provide first the product to finish the product, then the utility and the ecosystem will come around the product. If we're here just to pump the next token of billions of tokens on the market, this is not Kadena, this is not a Crankk. This is another project, something that we're not interested. And every day we explain, if you're here just for the speculation, if you're here just to make money fast, easy, no. Crankk is a decentralized physical network that need to provide a software solution that costs huge amount of money, that provide infrastructure, servers, cloud infrastructure that cost huge amount of money, and everything that Peter and our team built, it's one of a kind. No one ever before tested this kind of connectivity, this on-chain activity. The DEX, we have our own wallet, Web3 wallet. Crankk provided the solution for the community. And all this wasn't on our roadmap. But no one maybe understand how hard to build something that never before was built. But we are not afraid to make a mistake. Yes, we make mistake.
I'm a bit afraid.
Yes,
we're humans, man. Come on now.
I know that I'm driving crazy, Peter. Sometimes now and then.
No. Meant it as a light comment.
Yeah, but we're pushing so hard each other's because we believe that the automation it's here. We need to finish our product, and then we can start our advertising, our marketing, our campaigns, but not before that, because we're an official business, legitimate one, and we need to provide a white paper once the foundation is built, then to pass the external audit and to say, look, these are our papers, and these papers prove that our software solution and our codes is the way that we say it. Then you're welcome to use it. Before that, we can't just invite people, use this if it's not finished. This is not serious.
Very passionate, obviously. I love it. And I'm looking forward to some here in the future as well. But Milan and Peter, thank you so much for being on this episode today here with us at Kadena. I'm just glad we're able to spotlight, who Crankk is and kind of allow this community to, get to know you both. Before we close out, though, is there anything I missed? Anything maybe that's on your mind you guys want to finish with? And we only have so much time, Milan, so I know you could probably go on for a while. But is there anything we really want to kind of hit home here real quick before we wrap this up?
I think we covered a lot of stuff. Which was,
I think so.
If it radiated passion, then it was a good one. And then I believe we managed to transpire a lot of information and who we are and how we see our steps forward and future. So it enormously grateful for the opportunity. And then of course I love the technical aspects. And then with in relation to Kadena, the foundation of what we're building on, I think we even got a better than usual chance to talk about that stuff.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and really we are willing to say something more, but we'll never take back to what we said. We do not put alphas, we do not hide the project. First, let's test it, let's deliver it, and then if it's work, it's good and it's a win-win situation for everyone, for the community and for us. If it's not in the way that need to be, we just redesign it, rework it, and provide it in the way that must to be. Thank you very much for the support from the Kadena, and let's build together the on-chain IoT project.
Awesome, guys. Well, I really just hope that people are able to get this conviction. I mean, there's a purpose behind what you guys are doing. And so I really hope kind of today gets that message across to people and really understand really where you guys are going with this. So I appreciate your time. I just want to thank everyone who's, watching this episode today. Be sure to follow Crankk. We'll make sure we have your guys' link to your website and your socials here below. Thanks again for being on this episode and hope to see you guys again here soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's crank it up.